If you lie to the government, they'll put you in prison. But when they lie to all of us, it's called being a politician. You think taking guns away will save our kids from the killings, but you're pro-choice. Abortion kills way more children. If America's so terrible and racist, it probably isn't safe to encourage immigration. Just saying, all the contradictions are embarrassing. You know who hates America the most? Americans. Trigger warnings used to be on TV for seizures, and now they're everywhere to protect millennials' feelings. He, she, his, him, hers, them, they. Screw a pronoun, cause everyone's a retard these days. I hear them preaching at the protest that hatred's the problem, but hating straight men, white folks, and Christians is common. Coca-Cola telling people they should be less white. They preach intolerance, but if you disagree, they fight. There's a race war here, elections based on fear. Black lives only matter once every 4 years. Soldiers died for this country, and every one of us benefits. Give welfare to the bums and forget about the veterans. Black folks and white folks divided by the news, but we are all the same. We are red, white, and blue. Ashamed to be American? Okay, that's cool. Because honestly, we are all ashamed of you too.
Y'all are so fake. Oh no. The forecast said that there'd be snowflakes. Whoa. You can make us see it your way. No way. Gasoline and propane. More flames. Oh no. No more snowflakes.
They set us up to fail, that's what they built the system for. Put an ammunition shop across the street from a liquor store. Empowering women used to be different than this before. The role models got OnlyFans or dance on a stripper pole. Screw it, I ain't tripping, I don't mean to be mean. But if our children are the future, then our future is bleak. They take an Adderall to focus, hit McDonald's to eat. They're addicted to phones and they take Xanax to sleep. They blurred the lines dividing communism and democracy. In 2021, we paint the patriots as Nazis. The men playing women's sports get trophies for winning. Like, great, let's celebrate a man for beating some women. If you're black, your life matters, you're supposed to embrace it. If you're rich or you're smart, then you're probably Asian. If you're gay, then you're brave. All of that I'm okay with. But if you're white, the stereotype is you are a racist. Blaming capitalism like that's the reason things are tough. While you tweet from an iPhone and sip on a Starbucks. You're supporting what you stand against, you don't think you are, but a Percocet addict don't donate money to pharma. Damn, dog, we're all afraid to speak the truth. And the more afraid we get, the more we hate the ones who do. You're ashamed to be American? Okay, that's cool. Because honestly, we are all ashamed of you too.
Y'all are so fake. Oh no. The forecast said that there'd be snowflakes. Whoa. You can make us see it your way. No way. Gasoline and propane. More flames. Oh no. No more snowflakes.
We can all get along, but there's no stopping. Everybody's wrong, it's a real problem. They don't want to hear it, but they still talking. Soon enough, we running out of options. This ain't gonna end till it's in the coffin. We ain't gonna be friends till we try to squash it. I don't know how we can make amends or we drop it. Snowflakes melt when it's hot, kid.
Y'all are so fake. Oh no. The forecast said that there'd be snowflakes. Whoa. You can make us see it your way. No way. Gasoline and propane. More flames. Oh no. No more snowflakes.
Well, I apologize to you, Mr. Pryor. We do still owe you a challenge, and we are currently waiting for Luke to come back. I haven't heard from him this week. However, we do thank Tom McDonald for giving us permissions to use any of his music. Scott, I know you didn't like that intro too much, but I promise you, if you actually go and look at some of his music, rap isn't for everybody, and it's definitely not for me. But he had some songs. This is one of the ones I actually enjoyed thoroughly. So I do encourage you to go check out Mr. McDonald's music on YouTube, whatever the hell else you can find him on, while you can, because he's probably going to get blocked soon as well. He does have some more tame music as well. He does have some more patriotic music. But, again, we use that song specifically when we plan on pissing people off this show. Like, it's perfect. Well, unfortunately, we don't have permissions to use everybody's music, Mr. Pryor. So, thankfully, Mr. McDonald was kind enough to give us permissions. We are still actively trying to get permissions to interview Mr. McDonald on here to discuss his point of view on freedoms, rights, and liberties here in America. And he is actually from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully at some point in time, we can actually sit down with him and discuss what led him to where he is. And we still have a video to show him that I think he can make a new song out of. But until that point in time, we're going to continue to try and use his music. We will go back and forth between State of Mind and Tom McDonald's rap. But again, we're using that song because I want to piss people off. I love to piss people
That's
off.
what we're good at.
I actually know he's currently in America, and he absolutely despises the fact that Biden is pushing for handgun bans. He's also posted a tweet where he said no matter the amount of fluoride that you pump into the water systems, nothing you do will make me not see how evil this government really is. Something along that lines. He is very, very pro-Constitution. He actually did a song with Adam Calhoun. He did a song with what was that gentleman's son? Carl, you know him. Waylon Jennings.
Oh, yeah.
He did a song with Waylon Jennings' son as well.
Grandson,
excuse me. So he is. Oh, by all means, let's jump straight into
let's
Biden.
go into it.
So I haven't seen much beyond Biden's speech, other than the fact that that jackass wants to ban 9mm ammunition. Darius Stone, the crack tonight is about HR 7544, as well as lawmakers debating quite a bunch of bullcrap. Biden doubling down on his gun laws. So yes, we have all plans to just absolutely crap all over Biden, which technically he still doesn't need help doing because he did shit his pants in front of the Pope. So, oh yes, by the way, this is my fourth one before the show.
Truly, it is.
Truly, it is. We're in for a very interesting night. And, oh, Mr. Pryor, you would like to join us. Well, seeing as I personally haven't seen too much about Joe Biden's debate and his speech itself, technically, Darius, yes, there have been 3 mass shootings, which the government declares that any shooting greater than 4 people is mass shooting. Meanwhile, Mexico has shooting deaths at 87 per day. 87 shooting involved deaths per day. And they have just passed the fact that they want to ban they had passed the ban on firearms several years ago. No, I'm just trying to show the people the difference between having guns and not having guns, which we have brought up the disputes between, I want to say it was Mussolini, Stalin, Hitler, currently Mexico. Basically, every time the government attempts to take away the firearms of the people and succeeds, there is mass genocide. So banning firearms does absolutely nothing but let the government come through and absolutely destroy and rape its people. But, Mr. Pryor, since you have some takes on last night's speech, by all means, let me get you that link sent real quick.
Yeah, bring on. We haven't heard from Scott in a long time.
I actively avoid mainstream politics, and I really only pull up things that are more relevant. Again, one of those things was HR 7544 that Carl brought me to today. But I did see the fact that Biden wants to ban anything greater than a 9mm. Good luck! The only thing that banning firearms is going to do is turn a lot of people into felons. Yes, Mr. Turtlebox, I did see your comment. You have a question, by all means. We are very interactive with our viewers. Please do not hesitate ever to ask any of your questions. However, keep it respectful and polite. We are here for conversation, not confrontation. The second you start to turn into something of a troll, well, me and good old Wally below me are very, very good at dealing with that. So that is just a general warning for you. Mr. Pryor, give me 1 second. I know I'm being a little polite. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I think I know who that is. I do believe that's somebody that's coming in through my TikTok page.
Oh, really? Awesome.
Yep.
If you are, give us a heads up that you are coming in after you've seen him on TikTok.
There you are, Scotty boy.
What regulations on guns would you support?
I don't agree. So, Darius, that's a phenomenal question. I don't actually agree with many of the regulations themselves because the United States Constitution protects any technical weapon that goes against the government. Anything they have that we can have. Now, when it comes to nuclear armament, no, I do not agree with that. However, I saw liberals making fun of the fact that the NRA wants to arm everybody, which is not true. The NRA wants to arm everybody legally. Legally. That video irritated the absolute dog piss out of me because of the fact that, no, I do agree you need a background check. The second you show up saying you have a felony, now there are certain felonies that I do not agree with. However, there are felonies out there that, yes, no, you have no right or need to own a firearm ever again. Although I still treat pedophiles and mass murderers as the same thing. You want to act like an animal?
What do you think about raising the age to 21?
I think that's absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
Raising the age to 21, you can vote, you can drive, you can. I think there should be.
You can join the military at 18. You can do all.
You can join the military at 17 with parents' consent. However, right. I do think there should be a flat age for everybody. You can vote at 18. You can join the military at 18. You can or used to be able to smoke at 18. No, you want to decree an age for people to be an adult. You need to set it in stone for everything.
Right.
No, I don't think 16-year-olds should be smart enough to be able to drive, nor vote for that matter. But 18 years old, depending on your lifestyles and choices, you have gone through a plethora of bullshit to make you the person that you are today's day and age. So 18 is a well-rounded number to be able to do that. You want to consider somebody an adult at 18? They can drink, they can smoke, they can fuck. Damn it.
Boy, you did it good that one, didn't you? Did not take long for that one to fly out.
By the way, for everybody else watching, this is a PG-13 rated show, which means that I and everybody here only gets one F-bomb per show, and I just blew it.
He did. His one a week.
Yeah, my one a week for this show. Mind you, the next show is not rated 17. So that one we're free to go crazy. And I promise y'all are going to want to tune in tonight.
17, yeah, it's rated.
However, yeah, Chad's like 12 minutes, new record. I told you I've been going ham. So no, if you want to have a well-rounded number, 18 to drink, 18 to have sex, 18 to be able to vote, 18 to go and serve and die for your country, then by all means. If I can go and die for my country, I promise you I'm going to drink with the pride of every single Navy member that has ever existed before me. And the Navy's song has drinking in it. So, yes, 18 is a decent age to go for it. And if that's how the government want to play that game, then yes, we're going to go with 18. But, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, special guest coming in through the chat tonight, Scooter Scotty Pryor.
Hey, Scooter.
How you doing? We do have communication with Luke. He has been actively ready to do your challenge. However, it seems like y'all's schedules don't line up for shit. We can't hear you, man.
His mic's off.
His
Turn
mic's
your mic on.
Here we go. Is that better?
Yeah.
There we go.
Sorry. Here's Ruger.
Hey, Ruger.
Come on. Go
here's
look what I am.
truly.
So, yeah, I knew you guys were going to be on tonight. And after watching the whole Biden thing last night, I had to come here and give you the liberal gun owner perspective.
Okay.
Which is pretty much bullshit. Okay.
For everybody that's new to the Second Amendment Ranch, we actually have our representative of the liberal side of politics showing everybody that all three of us or all four of us can have a different stance on government and everything and still communicate with Scott down here.
Yeah.
Every single one of us. He's been a great help to the show. He's been a great friend to us, and he loves seeing us in a lot of pain.
Yes, I do. And I love the Second Amendment.
But we can have communication with ourselves and keep it respectful and have discussions about everything coming from multiple different points. I don't want to say just two because I'm more of the libertarian anarchy side of this, whereas some of them might be a little more passive.
Right. But let's
So, yes.
tell we've got new listeners in our chat room. Okay. They don't know that you're a competition shooter.
As
You
by
have
the way,
firearms
again, as a
and a
liberal, he
Yes.
is very
Yes,
proud.
I'm a liberal. I'm a liberal. I ran as a Democratic candidate for the Arizona Senate 3 times. And because I'm a liberal doesn't mean I don't like the Constitution, because the Constitution is very important to our country. And I'm an American. I believe in that. Especially in the Second Amendment, because I am a competition shooter. And I
And
have
by the way, if you get a chance,
at least
check
one
out
gun.
his-
I've got at least one gun.
Please, by all means, Scott, plug your YouTube so they can go and check you out as well. Because if you haven't watched Mr. Pryor down here shoot, damn.
Turtle.
It's
listen to Scott.
Scooter's Brass on YouTube, and Mrs. Scooter has actually competed in at least 2 matches now. She's got 2 more this year that we're going to be doing, a PCC match and a rifle match in October.
Ooh.
So both of us are now competing.
Congratulations. That means she's more dangerous every time she shows up to harass you.
Yeah, and she told me to remind you about the mugs. But anyway.
We're working. I promise we're working on it. That is a scary woman, by the way.
Not me. Yeah. Not me. Her.
Although she is sending me snickerdoodles at some point.
She will. Yeah, she will definitely. She's been antsy about making some snickerdoodles lately. But yeah, so I am a liberal, which is kind of odd because for some reason the mainstream media, social media, and everything thinks that liberals hate guns. Some do, not all of us. Okay, I grew up in Texas. My entire family, all the way back to 1774, is U.S. military. And yeah, I'm a competitive shooter, and I really enjoy shooting. And so I, against my better judgment, decided to watch Mr. Biden speech last night.
Hold on, time out. I love how he phrases that. Mr. Biden.
I didn't vote for the fucker. I'm 3 minutes in and I already dropped the bomb.
Hey, that's all right.
But anyway, that being said, I didn't vote for him. Okay. Listening to the speech last night, there was a lot of things that were big no things for me to see. And part of that has to do with the fact that, and I'm going to kind of use the stuff in the news nowadays about pro-life versus pro-choice. The pro-choice side says, you don't have a uterus, you can't tell me what to do. You're not a doctor, you can't tell me what to do. My side of that is, you don't know shit about firearms. You don't get to tell me what sensible gun control is. You don't get to tell me what would stop these violent acts from these murderers. You don't know. We're going to go play that same thing. You're not an expert in firearms. You're not an expert in combat.
It's funny that you bring that up, which is entirely true. I'm not going to argue that point at all. You look at the African-American woman that says an AR-15 is as heavy as 50 moving boxes, and they removed that video quicker than you could say the F-bomb on this show, apparently. Chad, that one was for you. However, they also like to say there are dozens, if not hundreds, of other genders. So how are you to tell me that just because I don't have a uterus means I can't decide for you how you have the children? And for everybody that watches us, we know how I feel on this. I am more pro-life than anything because I myself was adopted, but there are situations that I can agree with having an abortion. But I don't want to go into that too much.
Right.
So, Turtle Box brings up my favorite quote. Oh, she brings up my favorite quote. To stop a bad man from doing evil deeds, it takes a good man willing to do the same evil deeds, but better. You have to have somebody, which, by the way, there was just another shooting after the Uvalde school shooting where a gentleman ran into a crowd with an AR-15 and was put down by a woman. And I'm not phrasing she was a lady. I'm not phrasing it that way. I'm phrasing it because that's how the media wants to portray it. A woman. Interesting how you don't talk about the 37 other genders out there. But she put his ass down with a pistol.
But they're not talking about that.
No.
They're
No,
not
they're
putting
not.
that. They're not putting that story on the mainstream media. Mrs. Scooter and I were just talking about this yesterday. This woman who was a concealed carry permit, lawful gun
Legally
owner,
carrying with her.
legally carrying, doing everything. A guy opened fire on a crowd with an AR-15, and she smoked his ass.
Oh yeah.
Do you see that? Where did you see that on MSNBC? Do you see
No,
that on
I was
CNN?
actually
No.
brought that today by a coworker who also brought the story to me today, where a gentleman robbed a guy from his AR-15, legally carrying it, open carrying. You can in many states you can legally carry a long weapon, which
then
means
shot
a
him with
full length. No. It gets better. It gets so much better. He was legally carrying his AR-15 across his back, which means it is a non-threatening manner. It is not loaded.
Mm-hmm.
He got robbed of his AR-15 walking through the streets and wanting to exercise his Second Amendment rights. Went to his vehicle, came back with a pistol, and smoked that guy. It didn't end there. He drove off, and other people came in and shot that dude again and took the AR off his body.
And you don't see that in the mainstream media on any
they won't
channel.
put it out there.
No, because
put it out
criminals aren't going to abide by the Second Amendment. They're not going to abide by the First Amendment. They're not going to abide by any laws or regulations. Whereas we, the free people, do our best because, well, we're all a bunch. Yeah. Besides the point, we will exercise our rights to our fullest extent. And if you decide to be stupid and play F around and find out,
you're going to F around and find out.
He found out real quick because this was the group, the Texans for it was something like Second Amendment rights, or it was this huge group that constantly goes through Texas and open carries. That's not a smart idea. Uvalde's school shooting was staged to shit. And if you can't see this, please leave my show. Please.
Why did the chief of police show up at the school without a radio?
Why did they not have backups? Why did we not have 18 minutes
Scooter.
of...
Go back earlier than that. How did this kid who just turned 18 have the money to buy two AR-15s, one which was
No. Specify the brand Daniel Defense AR-15s, which you bring
which
up
was like
price
worth $2,500 for that one. And then the second one that he bought was about $1,200. He had 1,600 rounds of ammunition, which is another $1,200. They said that he had a handgun, so they didn't say what model. So give or take $300 to $400 there.
Yeah.
Plus, and the more and more I find, he has.
How did he get the money for that shit?
No. Every time I go and view this, I find more and more things stating he had a brand new F-250, not his mom or his grandma's truck. He had a brand new.
Yeah, but the truck he wrecked was his grandfather's truck.
He stole his grandfather's truck and drove that into the ditch.
Right.
But seriously, how did he come up with $5,000 to $7,000? Not having a job, not having credit, not having any of things to go in and be able to buy these. Where did he get the money? That's the first problem.
Grandma and grandma's credit card and go buy it.
No, which, by the way, they have evidence that he and some random retired FBI or CSI agent had communication. Yes, brand new AR-15 turtle box, brand new AR-15s, and he was trained how to use it after having months of communication with a retired FBI or CSI or CIA agent in Discord. That came to light last week. That evidence has hit the fan now, saying that some retired prick was talking to this kid.
Yeah, he was getting information, and this kind of leads into the whole Biden speech, because I really want to talk about that, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
I've been thinking about this.
So, Turtlebox, we haven't had anything come up for the Texas police yet. However, I can tell you right now, Texas police are currently watched heavily.
Being investigated.
I wouldn't say it that way.
The Uvalde police?
No, I'm talking about every single police officer in Texas. And I'm not saying investigated. I am saying watched heavily. And that is the only way I'm going to phrase that. We, the people, are pissed. So by all means, Scott, let's get into this
Biden speech
debacle.
Yeah.
I can't call it a speech because that man can't make a coherent sentence. But
Well, it was a lot of words, which is speech, right? So we'll go through the because I've been thinking about this nonstop since I listened to that whatever the hell that was. And remember, I'm a liberal. I don't like these liberal. I'm a liberal, but I'm like, what the fuck? Shit, I did it again. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Anyway, let's move on. The things that he was talking about. Okay,
we're ranking
what was
up
it?
that. Chad, keep
in-
tabs for me, buddy.
Yeah,
Right.
enhanced background, universal background checks. Okay, well, when you ask these people that are trying to disguise this as sensible gun control or whatever it is, do they even know what the current system of background checks is?
No, they don't.
They don't.
I'm glad you bring that up because they were talking the and no offense, Scott, but there was a liberal video posted today. This is not.
Oh,
this
I'm
is,
not. No offense taken. These
but there
fuckers
was
are just.
three people that were. One of them was representing Black Lives Matter, and two of them were representing white NRA people, which turns this into a whole new racist. Which, by the way, people. This year and last year, the highest number of people buying firearms were African American women. Don't believe me? Go watch some of our previous episodes. I actually give you the facts and statistics for every single one of them. It was something like 40,000 women last year. African American women had bought guns last year.
Don't forget to add liberals to that, because I armed a lot of liberals last year.
Good.
So they were making fun of the aspect that the NRA wants to arm everybody, which is not true. The NRA wants to actively arm every legal law-abiding citizen at this current point in time. The current background check is relatively quick compared to a suppressor, which is
6
constantly,
to 8 months to a year.
Yeah, currently for suppressors, you're looking at 6 to 8 months to a year, which I find absolutely mind-blowing. And we've talked
even
about
an SBR is 3 to 4 months. SBR, short barrel rifle, yeah.
Go ahead, Scott.
Anyway, yeah, getting through an SBR, the tax stamp and all that stuff is 2 to 3 months just for an SBR.
Right.
And it's like, really?
Mr. Pryor, you want to know how long this took me to get?
Yes, I do actually.
1 day.
Really?
1 day. And if you look at that stock, it'll explain.
That's not an SBR. That is classified by the ATF as a pistol.
Exactly.
Right? Because Mrs. Scooter has a .45 caliber pistol.
I'm going to kick you in the junk, Chad. I'm going to kick you square in the dick, Chad. Y'all know how I feel about that phrase. There's no such blessed thing as a sign. But no.
One exception.
No, there are no exceptions. However, moving on, that is technically a pistol classified by the ATF.
Right.
And
which is another sham government agency that sucks.
Right.
Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry. Oh.
That's all right.
It's in three. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, that's in 308 win. There's also a rifle behind that. That's in 5.56. So, yes.
Right.
Yeah. So that's,
okay,
that's the problem with the Biden speech. Okay.
Let Scooter go on.
So the Biden speech starts out with all of this sad stuff. You know, the thing to grab your heartstrings. And you know how it's all of this and how it's all that, and how the assault weapons ban in 1994 reduced mass shootings, and then when it was ended, it increased it like triple or whatever the hell he said. And it's like, okay, well, number one, the ideas of they're looking at is enhanced background checks, yay, and or raising the age from 18 to 21 to buy a semi-automatic.
Right.
And then they had what else was there? There was, of course, the assault weapon and high capacity magazine ban, red flag laws. What else was there? There was like one or two more. Sorry, I've had vodka. Just see.
Welcome to the party, baby.
But so let's take the first one: the assault or the enhanced background checks. We know that doesn't work. I have a guy at work who did a straw purchase for a felon at work. The enhanced background checks doesn't apply because he passed the background check and then he gave it to a felon. You're never going to stop that shit. When people that are going to violate the law want to violate the law, they don't care about the law, so they're going to get their hands on that guns. Period.
By the way, Democrats are the best gun sellers in history. Would y'all like to hear the statistics?
I'm not a Democrat. I'm just a liberal.
I know you're not. However, Democrats sell guns like it's chocolate to the fat kid.
The past 2 years, Democrats have been buying lots of guns because I've been helping them.
2021, 23 or 20 million, 2020, 20 million. Y'all want the statistics per state?
The way I look at it, if I arm Democrats, then there are armed Democrats in the Democratic Party pushing policy.
No, I agree. Y'all,
I'm trying a different way.
I'm
moving around the system to try to make it work because I honestly think that an armed populace does not have to worry about insurrection.
Exactly.
Y'all ready for these numbers, though?
Oh, yeah. Please.
Between March and April of 2019 and March and April of 2020, which is close to the beginning of Biden's fun, Alabama had an increased percentage of 246% increase. 39% for Alaska, 168% increase for Arizona, 105% for Arkansas, 65% increase of purchasing of firearms in California. Colorado had an increase of 75%. Connecticut, 27%. Delaware, 80%. District of Columbia, 5%. Florida, 88%. Georgia, 135%. Over the past 3 years, Hawaii has an increase of firearm purchases of 0%. Idaho, 96%. Illinois, 43%. Indiana, 67%. Kansas, 91%. Kentucky, 93%. Louisiana, 79%. Maine, 77%. Maryland, 98%. Massachusetts, 19%. Michigan, 176%. I want y'all to keep track of how many of these states are blue and red.
Are there any negatives?
Oh, we're going to get to it. Minnesota, 29%. Mississippi, 84%. Missouri, 64%. Bravo, Carl. Montana, 67%. Nebraska, 77%. Nevada, 109%. New Hampshire, 95%. New Jersey, 20%. New Mexico, 38%. New York, 42%. North Carolina, 127%. North Dakota, 50%. Ohio, 81%. Oklahoma, 67%. Oregon, 73%. Pennsylvania, 31%. Rhode Island, 109%. South Carolina, 90%. South Dakota, 43%. Tennessee, 69%. Nice. Texas, Texas, 131%. Utah, 150%. Vermont, 77%. Virginia, 82%. Washington, 49%. No, 39%. West Virginia, 49%. Wisconsin, 60%. And Wyoming, 69%. Averaging out to a purchase total increase over that course of time to a total increase for every state of 80%. There were no negatives at all. At all when Biden took over.
Nope.
And why don't you see that on the news?
And in fact,
they don't want to say that on the news.
If you look at April 2019 to 2020, it's actually higher with the exception of New York, which dipped down to negatives, and Massachusetts, which dipped down to negatives. District of Columbia, which dipped down to negatives. So of that, 3 districts did go negative in April, but in March.
Because you got out there the people that watch MSNBC, CNN, and all them, does not realize how well armed the American people are in this country.
125.55 firearms for every 100 people per 100,000 capita.
Mm-hmm.
We have
Yeah, but
more guns per people than any other country in
We've
the
got more
world.
guns owned by civilians than any military
which is
group
why
in the
no
world.
one's ever going to invade
And
us.
any of our guns are better than the military, so
Yeah, I'm so
What?
Scott, you've got to admit that too. Don't you get offended when they say your guns are military grade?
Yeah, I do, because they're not. I mean,
They're not.
I at the last Red October match that we did, I got the opportunity to shoot fully automatic M16 and a belt-fed some sort of
Tell me it was the new SIG. Tell me it was the new SIG.
oh god, no, it was last year. It was old, it was a belt-fed, it was Russian. And I got to shoot that in the match, and that was like awesome. And I'm like, none of my guns can do that.
Mm-hmm.
None of my guns. I mean, I shot a suppressed.
I'll argue that.
M16, and it was just like, oh yes. I'm like, oh, let me do it again. He's like, no, you only get 30 rounds, and I'm like, no, give it to me again. Even
So,
Mrs. Scooter, she shot it, and she
by
was
the
like,
way-
oh, that's awesome.
The fully automatic, even though they banned binary triggers, can still be bypassed with coat hangers or rubber bands.
But we don't recommend anybody doing
I know
that.
that, but I don't say anything about that because of my channel.
Right.
But
We've already
No,
said
my-
the F-bomb 3 times. Where have
I
my
think
F's
no.
gone?
I've said the F-bomb 3 times. The rest of you have to
said it
average
twice.
out after.
I've said it one.
Is it only that much?
It's only
Yeah.
3 total so far, Mr. Pryor.
Okay, now I'm tempted.
No,
Stop.
no, no, no,
All right,
no.
stop it.
No.
So
Because
let's
you
go
get
back.
going, I'm going to get going, and then
Yeah.
we're
Oh,
going to be an R-rated show.
then I'm
real
gonna
quick.
get going.
Yeah, let's go back to Biden. So
Meanwhile,
we talked
Carl's
about.
over here like,
Right.
how do I
He's
deal with
counting.
these assholes?
I know.
He's like counting. He's like, oh my god, not again.
Let Scott finish down here.
So
What
so
he's
yeah,
got to
so we go to the Biden speech and he talks about the enhanced background checks, which we all know is not going to work because people that want guns are going to get guns. Period. Because you're
Yep.
going to have some asshole who is clean that's going to buy guns and then sell them to felons. It's just the way it is. It happens now.
He's a gopher. That's his
Yeah,
whole.
he's a gopher.
His whole role for these gangs is you have to keep a clear, clean background.
Mhm.
You do nothing gang affiliated,
Right. So that you
so
can
that
buy
way
guns
you can buy us guns
to give to your buds. Right.
Exactly.
So that was
That's
the first
how it's
thing.
played out.
Then he talked about raising the age from 18 to 21, which is total shit. Okay, seriously, it's like really, and I agree with you. And he did bring up the whole, well, you people are going to talk about how you're 18 and you can be in the military, but remember, these people are trained by the finest instructors. Okay, well, if you have veterans that were
Mhm.
instructors that are now teaching 18-year-olds that aren't in the military, isn't that the same damn thing?
My
Exactly.
favorite-
Notice
My
I didn't
favorite-
say the F word there. I wanted to, but I
Ma-
didn't.
All right,
Right.
hold on.
Same
Before
damn
we
thing.
Before you continue on, Wally here actually brought me a very, very valid point that I was very fond of. Wally, I hope you remember this. Wally down here, one of his first shows, way back when now, it's coming up on probably 6-7 months, brought up the fact that these kids are not trained to kill; they're trained to shoot a gun. And I'm paraphrasing this at best. Those that are on death row and know they're going to be dying, why not give to the military and let new recruits pull the trigger on them? There you go.
So they can see what it's like to take a life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Can they handle actually taking somebody else's life?
I hope I never have to actually do that. I honestly do,
Yes.
because I really value life.
Mhm.
But that's not going to stop me if I have to. But
Well,
still,
wait, no.
when you're talking about military people that are supposed to be trained to be able
So-
to defend and blah blah blah,
So
yes, they should give them the bullet.
So
Give them a
I'll give you a
Oh.
little more, Mr. Pryor. The scenario we put were mass murders and pedophiles. Those were the
I'm-
two.
Pedophiles should be shot on demand.
Mhm.
Period. Okay. Period. I don't care. They should be executed in the most painful way possible. Yeah.
No, just so I agree with you. They should be killed the most painful way possible, which would technically
Sorry, I was
be...
thinking bear traps and the
No,
thumb screws, the
technically
rack.
Ooh.
That's a fun one, but technically the most painful one, if you can figure it out, is Vlad the Impaler. But still, he brought up that point, and I was like, I am all for this. This gives them the face-to-face where you don't have through boot camp. And it takes away, y'all do realize that lethal injection is $10,000 per person, and none of it is FDA regulated. So the fact of the matter is that these drugs may fail when it comes to lethal injection.
Right.
Whereas a 5.56 round, currently
That
used
ain't
by the
gonna fail.
military, and going up to the 227 Valkyrie, or the military is calling it the 6.8 Creedmoor, neither one of those rounds are going to fail. So that's my take on that.
Well, to me, with the pedophiles, I can think of a lot more type of things to make them suffer.
I can too. However, for the benefit of the military and weaning out the weak, utilizing that group of people to train the active recruits that are going through on what it feels like to be the executioner, I think is I don't want to say a beautiful, more of a phenomenal idea, because it's not beautiful. It's still taking human life, technically human life, but we all know how I feel about pedophiles, and they're animals and need to be treated as such.
Well, one of the things that I thought was very, very interesting from a TV show called Firefly, and I don't know if you guys have seen that. One of the episodes had a bounty hunter, and he said that doctors should be shot at least once so they understand what it feels like to go through that while they're trying to fix it. It's the same way with our military. They should understand what it's like to kill somebody.
Hold on.
That's what you're trained to do.
No. I completely agree with that. But I watched Firefly, but I completely blanked on that quote.
Yeah, look at the episode with what was his name?
Corman. Honestly, it sucks, but knowing the amount of pain that your brothers and sisters are going through,
it would kind of change the way you react to them. But we're digressing.
We're digressing. So and Carl's over here like this. Shut up, Cameron. Let him.
He's
talk
like,
about
oh my
the
god.
Speech.
He's like, come on, can we talk something else? Okay, so we talked about the enhanced background.
Oh, okay, hold on. We're past the top. It's past the top of the hour. I have to do Carl's going to bitch at me if I don't do the gun fail. He's going to bitch at me if I don't do the gun fail.
Let him do the gun fail, and then we'll let
Go do the gun fail. I'm there. I'm watching.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, how would y'all feel if you went to the gun range and saw this?
Moving target practice?
Look, no. It gets worse.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
As they're currently plinking targets, this white-tailed doe.
I've had them walk up to me when I'm deer hunting doing that.
Right.
The amount of F's this deer currently gives. Unfortunately, for audio reasons, I can't share the audio, but there are gunshots going off all around this deer.
And he's smelling the gunpowder.
And he is smelling the gunpowder.
He's like, that's what killed my dad last year.
Now, by all means, this deer is not legal. This is too small of a deer. No, just because it's brown doesn't mean it's down.
Yep.
That I can't agree with that philosophy by any means. That's BS.
No, that's a fawn.
No,
that is exactly. This needs to go on and continue on. But the fact of the matter is, this deer literally placed itself into a kill shot with gunfire going on behind it and kept walking.
What I've been looking for is mama.
Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil.
That pretty much covers it.
And now he's going back to pulling the trigger, and this deer's just like,
I want to see him shoot and watch this deer.
Let's see if I don't. All right, gun's coming off safe.
Watch his fence.
And there's a squeeze with nothing.
Oh,
literally the last absolute second down here.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that one there. But
Yeah,
I
that
wanted to
deer
see
has
what
no fucks
Pay,
left to
atten-
give.
pay attention down here to that hand. He pulled the trigger, and that deer is just like, meh,
Meh.
Yeah,
meh. Like, bro,
they didn't keep the video. I wanted to see
what?
the deer take off.
No, it didn't. That was it. It was just like, meh. The whole time on a gun range, just meh.
Yeah.
No, we
I
had
know
one.
I'm not legal.
Hey, down in Georgia, we had one go across our firing range when we was out there night firing. It didn't make it very far.
No, imagine.
But I have interrupted enough and raised Carl's blood pressure today instead of him raising mine. Mr. Pryor, please continue on last. Oh, he
Go
is
ahead.
so ready to tell me to shut the F up. He's like, yeah.
Okay, so we talked about the advanced background checks, which are worthless. We talked about the 18 to 21, which is stupid. The red flag laws. Now,
Oh,
the problem with red flag laws is that they are not written with due process built in.
you're guilty till proven innocent on red
You're
flag
guilty
laws.
until proven innocent, and
And we
anybody
here
can make
on-
a complaint, and they will act on it even if there's no proof that the complaint was true.
No, we actually had a situation here on the ranch a couple months back where there was a father and mother and child that was subject to a red flag law. They had posted on their Facebook hunting photos, and the neighbors complained and reported them. The cops came in. They defended themselves, which is well within their rights. You broke into my house at 3 a.m. I can kind of understand red flag laws with proof. There's never any proof, so I can't understand red flag laws at all. But they also broke into the house at 2 or 3 in the morning, if I remember right.
Mhm.
Mother and father got shot. Child watched both mother and father fall. You have scarred that kid for life. You have attempted to take away the firearms of a law-abiding citizen with absolutely no background evidence. If I hate anything, you call the cops for a red flag law on me, I'm going to call 811 for them, and I'm going to let some hogs have you.
And that's the problem with a national red flag law, which what he was talking about. I could be at work, and everybody at work knows that I'm a competitive shooter. But I'm also a manager. So if I come down on somebody for not wearing proper PPE, for doing anything, they can call up and say, well, we know he's got guns and he made a few suspicious comments. Next thing I know, I've got the FBI at my front door or whatever coming in to try to take away my guns with no proof whatsoever that I actually had.
Other than the fact that you had a little snip.
Right.
That's
Even if
literally,
he didn't have a snip.
yeah.
So
if
that's the
I
problem with.
And
with
I
red flag
understand.
laws.
I understand where you're coming from. I'm a supervisor at my job, and I have an employee that whenever we joke that she's violent, she laughs, kind of concerningly. I don't think she would play that game as far as calling somebody to come and take my guns, because everybody at work knows that I have enough to win a Nerf battle easily. they're all water guns, by the way. Yeah,
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
water guns. But still, she has had somewhat of an attitude for the past week. And all it would take, what y'all don't understand, all it would take is just a quick phone call, and they're coming to my house. And every single one of you know how I feel about that.
And there's no due process. There's zero due process, which is accorded by the Constitution.
The song "Bodies" by Drowning Pool comes to head. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the body. That's what comes to my brain, because I'm me.
He's sick in the head.
Well, even Mrs. Scooter's that way. She's like, if they come to the door, we're going down. And I'm like,
which, by the way,
okay.
a standoff that lasted 15 years just ended. Literally, like, I got this message Monday. Just ended Monday. A standoff between Soup Boys, ABC names, whatever. 15-year standoff because this gentleman stood his ground when they came to confiscate his guns, shot and killed police officers refused to leave and it was several acres of property. They literally were just like, nah, we're good. He's fine. This prevents loss of life for police officers. Which, by the way, in 2005, the Supreme Court ruled that police officers have no right or reason to subject themselves to the potential loss of life to defend that of the people. If you
they
are
not
not
if you are not, they are not constitutionally obligated to protect you from harm. Period.
Yeah. So if you
I've
want to
got a
live
gun,
by that,
I'll protect myself.
Yeah, if you want to live by that mindset, we need constitutional carry, because if you're not willing to step in for me, I'm more than happy to step in for me.
Yeah, we
but
got constitutional carry here, so
we've got about 10 minutes. I'm going to try not to interrupt you, but I want to try and save the last about 2-3 minutes for HR 7544.
Okay, so I'll be fast. Okay, so we talked about the red flag laws. What was the other thing that they talked about? The magazine
9mm.
And before that was the assault rifle ban and the high capacity magazine. I can tell you that somebody that's trained can go through 30 rounds through 10 round magazines almost as fast as a 30 round mag.
Yeah,
I've done it. I know it can be done. It's the stupidest thing in the world. Okay, so all you idiots out there that don't know anything about guns, shut the f up.
Nice catch.
Good save.
And what was there was one more that he talked about, and I can't remember what it was. I'm trying. It's floating around with the vodka. But yeah, overall, from a liberal standpoint, that whole speech was just a bunch of fluff.
Carl's
it was designed to try to suck in people. The guy in Texas, okay, for example, the guy in Oklahoma, he was not between the ages of 18 and 21. So raising the age would have not stopped that at all. He went and he got the gun hours before he shot those people.
Yeah.
And he was
literally.
he was not a criminal. He passed his background check. Okay, so when do we start? What was that movie, Minority Report, where you have pre-crime?
Yeah.
Where you start convicting people before they commit a crime?
Right.
Okay, well, you got millions of guns owners out there, millions of them, that have never committed a crime.
Trillions of
let's go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and penalize them so that we can try to stop the criminals that don't care.
And that goes back to the period. That goes back to the sins of the father create. What is it? It's the sins of the father create complications for the son, or the actions of the sins of the son fall on the father. Some shit like that.
Yeah.
The child himself is guilty. The parents are not, unless they refuse to reveal information. However, we have about 8 minutes left. HR 7544 to provide a private right of action against the lawmaker of any component of a ghost gun. Any person facilitated a sale of a ghost gun or injury or death resulting from the use of a ghost gun. By the way, that's going to screw absolutely every gun maker ever. The ghost gun, what they are talking about, is a gun that is not regulated by any stance at all, which means that it has no serial number. The only part of an AR or many different firearms, there are a few where the upper is actually serialized versus the lower. The lower itself is the only thing that is serialized, which means that it can be tracked back to whoever sold that person the gun, which means that every single firearms manufacturer, if you sold them a trigger, if you sold them a barrel, if you sold them a compensator, suppressor, bump, or a shoulder stock, foregrip, if you sold them any component that goes onto that gun itself, which we all know how I feel about ghost guns, it's ridiculous. This is a means to screw absolutely every single firearms manufacturer that is involved in this ghost gun, which could be you get an 80% lower from somebody, mill it out yourself, get that lower part completed by the barrel, by the shroud guard, by the stock, compensator, trigger, even the dust cover. You are liable for this aspect because of how they phrase this, to provide a private right of action against any maker of any component of a ghost gun, which means they are going to want to actively either track every single, yes, Chad, a suppressor, track every single aspect of that firearm itself, from the compensator to the stock, from head to toe, any part of that gun that was utilized in that mass shooting, which again is 4 people or more, you are going to be held liable and potentially sued by the people for that for selling that individual that component, which I think is absolute.
That was the other part of the Biden speech, specifically, was
Mhm.
allowing gun manufacturers to be sued.
Right.
And I'm like,
It's-
so are you
that
gonna
goes-
allow car manufacturers to be sued when their cars are in an accident and they kill somebody?
Exactly.
So, y'all see me be drinking already throughout the show. What happens if I go right now to my truck? I go driving down the road and I hit somebody. I'm going to be held liable because I decided to drink and drive. It is not the gun that kills people.
Your car is going to be held liable.
Yes, if
They're
they
going to sue
want
the car manufacturer,
if they want to go off that standard, then the car manufacturer is liable. Chevy is going to get
or
sued.
the alcohol manufacturer that you
Sorry,
imbibe
truly.
should be
yes.
held. It's like, really? No. It's like
Yeah.
it's just stupid.
This is how they are wanting to play this, where everybody else is responsible for that gun death versus the jackass that pulled. Exactly. Because my guns sit behind me constantly. And I promise, you try and get into my house, my neighbors are going to know why they are afraid of me. I am the big ass 6'3", 280-pound white boy that walks through the neighborhood with a black lab and a boxer with not a single F to give to anybody. And not one of my neighbors is like, hey. No, they're all like, no. I promise you, every single constitutionally proud American, including myself, Carl, Wally, and hopefully soon Larson over here, and Mr. Pryor below me, you do stupid games, you win stupid prize.
Yes.
Coming at around 1,200 feet per second.
Mhm.
So
That's kinda low,
banning
isn't it?
guns, it's about the average.
Yeah, about that.
I didn't load my 4570s that way.
I know you did. I'm so glad I don't have a 4570 right now because I still owe you shooting those out of a 4570.
Yeah, well, out of a rifle, I would say it's okay, but it hurts. But I wouldn't do it in a handgun. I tell you now.
This is where I'm happy I'm chubby. Just
it hurt. Trust me, it hurt.
There are plenty of maniacal maniacs. Obviously, there's a liberal below me that would love to play with Tannerite as well. I've got 3 other people next to me that would love to play these games. The silent majority have stayed silent in the hopes that diplomacy will play out. However, in the aspects that diplomacy refuses to play out, the silent majority is more than willing and happy to live up to the United States Constitution. Any government body that acts tyrannical against the people itself, it is your liberty and right to overthrow that government and institute a new one. That's a bastardized quote out of the United States Constitution. However, that is the United States Constitution. So, ladies and
Is now
gentlemen,
a bad time to mention that I actually used to have a federal explosive license and used to blow shit up for a living?
my roommate won't even.
Tannerite, really? Come on.
My roommate won't even let me have.
it.
Yeah, my roommate won't even let me have Tannerite in the house. So, you really think if I got something a little more?
Yeah.
Class A explosives are much more fun to play. I mean,
Yeah,
I would know.
I'm just saying.
I've heard.
If y'all see me carving a teddy bear out of C4, mind your business.
I mean,
I ain't saying shit. I'm going to
that is a possibility. I'm not saying I can make that happen, but
Carl's over like, God, what do I have to deal with today?
No. What do you mean? I'm not an engineer.
Look
with
what
a
I
demolitions
created.
Expert's degree.
We're not teaching you. By the way, an M80 stick of fireworks from back in 2005, roughly, was the equivalent of a quarter stick of TNT.
Yeah, but that's
Whereas
still Class C explosives.
Whereas
I mean, really.
currently a 9-inch balloon filled of a acetylene torch, which means oxyacetylene, is the equivalent of 21 and a half sticks of TNT. My job taught me that.
It's not near as close as Ampho, so.
No, it's not.
But
I don't know anything about that.
But
I'm
again,
just saying, I saw it on MythBusters.
If y'all watched last week's episode of how I feel about the tyrannical government and everything going on right now, you know how I feel about all this shit going on. However, it is the top of the hour. We have prayer for free speech, free stupidity. Oh shit, Carl, go ahead.
You wanted that video played. We'll end it and then end the show.
I gave you the choice to play it when you felt comfortable. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have been on the chaotic rampage since the beginning of this show. The video that I sent Carl is something of the emotional side, more for Memorial Day and talking about why military members serve. This video will hit you right in the heart. I'm warning you ahead of time because we started this show with such chaos and humor. However, when I watched this video today, I did actually cry.
I saw this on TikTok today.
So please be mindful of that. Be prepared. As always, I'm Cameron.
I'm Carl.
I'm Larson.
I'm Wally.
I'm Scooter.
And this has been Free Speech, Free Stupidity.
The Second Amendment Ranch.
Second Amendment Ranch. I'm already rearing for the next one, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go.
Second Amendment Ranch, please take this video to heart, and we wish you a blessed evening.